All right, folks, you'll have to bear with me if the sound's just not right. The site is a little noisy. Behind me is a forest mulcher, but I want to take a little bit different format. Oh, now I'm paranoid to see whether it's even running. One second. All right, we're recording. Okay, here we go. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead, and I'm doing a little bit different format today to try to answer some questions that come in on the videos that we've been posting lately. And by the way, I've got hundreds of gigabytes of videos. One of the things that I do on the side, so I'm a full-time risk manager. I do a lot of work in front of the computer, and I have an interest in ecology and permaculture. And I've been, for years, more than 10 years, taking courses on permaculture, applying organic gardening for years before that. I've worked on erosion and land management projects. And so as I'm getting a little bit older, kind of a therapy for me is to get out in nature and to relax and to kind of transition. Now, I've got a business development background and marketing background, so the natural fit was to publish some of the videos I've been producing on YouTube. I've actually built a documentary on land management projects. I just don't have enough customers to offer that to right now, so I've been providing that kind of in the informal circles. But my point being is that you can develop income off of your land, so you don't have to get cheap land. You don't have to get a cheap house. You don't have to live below your means. If you understand, well, you do have to live below your means, don't get me wrong on that, but you do have to have an idea that the more people talk about climate change and the more they talk about saving the environment or the earth, the more you want to invest in that field. So I got into the IT world when everybody was talking about computers, the next big thing. Today, if I was younger, I'd probably be in data science. I'd probably be in artificial intelligence. However, I'm getting a little bit older in life and I'm looking towards more recreational activities instead of working 15, 20 hours a day. And so I'm in a transition period, and YouTube and today's technology gives me an opportunity. I'm literally sitting here, there's a solar panel, there's a little battery backup thing plugged into my camera, and then I'm videotaping myself on a piece of land that I was able to acquire at a discount because the land was not in very good condition. Now, what I want to answer here is, one, how do you pay for land? Number two is, how do you improve the value of the land so that it's worth much more than what you paid for it? So in this case, we bought a piece of land that was available for sale. I had looked at maybe 35 properties before I found this one, and I got it at a favorable price. Now, what's a favorable price for me could be different for you. It just really depends on your situation. But you're not going to get land for like $1,000 an acre. That doesn't happen anymore. But you certainly don't want to pay $12,000 an acre unless you've got a solid business plan and you're buying it commercially. Now, if you're going to have a homestead or a small farm, you want to start at 5 acres. But you want to make sure that you choose land that has land around it that's not being utilized. So you want to find a piece of agricultural land that's in poor condition, or otherwise, maybe you're buying out a working farm. You're going to expand that land as soon as you can, because you need a certain number of acres before the IRS is going to believe that you're actually running a farm, because your first 5 to 10 years of farming is not going to be profitable. Now, as people talk about climate change and global warming, which, by the way, they've been talking about since Aristotle and Plato, because there are environmental degradation and cycles in climate and change and stuff like that. This isn't a climate change video. This is simply to understand that if it's top of mind concern of people, so for example, GMO foods is banned in a lot of countries, not banned in the United States. People have concern about the quality of food, and so organic, naturally grown, locally grown food is a food preference for many affluent and high net worth individuals. Now, if you live in a community that doesn't have any affluent or high net worth individuals, it'll be harder to do a market garden and sell fresh produce. But then again, you might live near a busy highway. So one of the things you want to look at before you buy land is the regional opportunity that's available. As farmers age out, and I'm not trying to be a farmer. I might work as a farmhand on a property, on someone else's property. I might, own land that I'm using for recreational and later homestead. But again, you don't have to be a full-blown farmer to get started on paper, understanding what is necessary to make this work. But you don't go to Reddit, you don't go to some of these forums, because to be frank, if you get a couple good books on permaculture, you get a couple good books on, like Virginia Tech just put out a book on silvopasture. You get a couple good books like that, you're going to realize how many idiots are there on Reddit. Now, if this gets posted on Reddit and you guys realize that I'm glad you're interested in homesteading, but again, you don't just ask strangers what to do on your land, because the climate matters, the socioeconomic conditions matter, how close are you to a highway matters, how close are you to a city or a population center, there's a lot of factors that matter before the opinion of a stranger. And if you're talking to local farmers, if you're talking to local land managers and property managers, if you're talking to the people in your community, what you'll often discover is all kinds of opportunities. So for example, an older farmer whose family's not interested in farming may sell you their farm. And so instead of waiting for a farm to show up on Zillow or from a real estate agent, you actually can start working that farm. And you can start learning how it works, because you don't want to dream your whole life about being a farmer or being on a homestead or having a tiny house and then you're too old to do anything with it. Okay, I've had some health issues. I've had some frustrations over the years. If I waited until everything was okay, I would have never got started. So when people complain my video moves around too fast or the sound isn't right or something, I don't care. I don't care, because again, I'm focusing on those who are doing something rather than the general population that only has an opinion. So when you get into your local community, go to the farmer's market, start buying from the farmer's market, understanding what products are available. You're going to find great value-add products, jams and jellies. You're going to find butters and cheeses and just all kinds of local products, but you're going to start to understand that the government doesn't make it easy for you to be self-sufficient. In fact, the government's preference is that you work for them, not work for yourself. Now, my position all my life, since the first business I started, all my contract opportunities, everything I've done has been working for me and my family. And that's really what I believe you should do. But it's not just working for money. It's working for intelligence and experience. It's working for the different forms of capital we talk about. It's working for the knowledge and education that's necessary to get the most from your land. So me working on someone else's farm, so I had a big garden at the house, the city got upset. Me working on somebody else's farm solves the problem I had at home. And so I don't need to own 50 or 100 acres in order to experience the day-to-day activities that are necessary to manage 50 to 100 acres. So I go to this other farm. You see some of the videos from that farm. I offer my insight and knowledge from practical experience doing organic gardening, doing permaculture, doing land management, and then I offer my sweat and work to get stuff in the ground. And then we have a harvest and we talk about the experiences. Meanwhile, they're running animals. They got goats, chickens, and cows. Brown chickens, brown cows, and ultimately they have experience to share with me. Now, I've also known foresters, farmers that have 50 to 100 head of cattle, farmers that have 20, 30 hogs. I know people in the area, but I didn't get that on the YouTubes. I didn't get that online. I didn't get that just reading books. So I want to encourage you to take the next step. And I know it's kind of, I'm creating videos to put online, which take up hours of your time. So again, I'm trying to deliver the best value possible. Your comments help me deliver great value. But if you're not going out and doing this stuff, then you're not going to get the experience necessary to know what works and what doesn't. Again, what's important is you could live in an apartment in a city and drive out. Raleigh City Farms is a perfect example. You can go live in a city, the city of Raleigh, drive out to Raleigh City Farms and spend your weekends pretending to be a farmer while gaining valuable experience, volunteering for a worthy nonprofit, and ultimately getting your hands in the soil to understand how things work. That is what's necessary. So I'm actually supporting an advocacy for community gardens, because you can't, if you buy the first piece of land you find, you may not be happy with it because you don't have a clear plan, but you can't necessarily have a clear plan without some kind of practical experience or someone to guide you along the way with relevant information for your climate, for your elevation, for the types of foods and experience that you have. Can you see how this works? So again, you go volunteer at a nonprofit. The place Sustainable Homestead Institute, where I volunteer, is a nonprofit. I'm not getting paid to be there. I get some eggs sometimes, I get some vegetables sometimes, but ultimately I am contributing my time to gain experience and to also contribute. Now, over the last many years that I've been helping them, I'm a little bit more than a farmhand, but ultimately, if all I am is a farmhand, I benefit. See, another group of you guys, they talk about never working for free. Well, if you're sitting around waiting until you get your piece of land and now you're 50, 60, 70 years old, you finally got your piece of land, but you don't have the experience to make the land profitable, then you're going to be fodder for somebody who knows what they're doing. Because here's the secret. Once you gain the experience, once you know what you're looking at, once you have a plan, you'll find places to implement that plan around the community. You'll start building better community connections, and next thing you know, somebody's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, oh, by the way, my cousin's got a piece of property. He's not sure what he wants to do with it. Would you come down and take a look at that piece of property? Next thing you know, you're making an offer on the property, and then you're where you want to be. That property would have never gone up in front of a real estate agent. It had gone up to auction when they died, but ultimately you're now helping that family by getting them the cash that they're looking for. You're ultimately getting the land that you need, and because you have the experience, you're not going to dick around and make a bunch of mistakes. So in the case of this property here, I had worked on forestry trails, so basically a lot of scout camps and national parks will clear their logging trails so that they can get emergency vehicles back. If there's a forest fire, it gives a fire break. I simply applied information and resources I learned when I was 12, 13 years old, now when I'm 40 something, to clear up the land and make it more accessible, to make it more valuable. Now that it's more accessible, I've got a shed out here, I can drive my truck out here, and then I've got an area that's being cleared out by a forest mulcher rather than clear cut. Why do I know the difference between clear cut and forest mulch? Because I've interacted with foresters, I've seen the quality of work that some foresters have done, and I've actually read the documents. So in this case, I went to the Virginia U.S. Forestry, or the U.S. Forestry Service and the Virginia Forestry Service to get their recommendations. And I looked at it and it read the manual. I've read the Army Corps of Engineer manuals. Now, these things are readily and freely available. If I just posted a picture on Reddit and said, what should I do with my land? I just wouldn't get valid answers. I'd get what they want to do with the land, their aspirations and dreams, nothing that's going to move forward my aspirations and dreams. So do you see where I'm coming from here? I want you to get the right books. I want you to get the right resources. I want you to invest in your education from qualified providers. I want you to take classes, go to these homesteading conferences, go to places like Sustainable Homestead Institute that has wildcrafting and nature walks, and then also garden management, some small livestock things. These things are in your region as well, so it doesn't really matter where you live. There are nonprofits like Raleigh City Farms, for example. You can go volunteer and be of good service. That's going to give you a capital that cannot be taken away, which is the knowledge base. Now, you might find out that you get into it and you don't like it, because it is hard work. And I get sunburned and everything, and then my back hurts. And, unless you're moving towards an outcome, you're not going to really enjoy it. But you may find that it's not something you're into. Processing animals it can be emotionally stressful if you're used to having animals as only pets. If you don't understand that the life cycle of a chicken is 8 months, it's the life cycle of a hog is 8 to 9 months. Our goal here with this particular channel is to show you how you can take care of animals, you can take care of nature, and that it only has one bad day. So a hog, you grow out a hog, it has one bad day in its life. The rest of the time it's laying in the sun, it's enjoying fresh food, it's foraging, it's doing pig-like stuff. I get discouraged by some of the comments, but then again, I'm posting these for my own reasons. I want to help the few that are interested in doing the right thing with their land. I want to help the few that are motivated to build up assets and generational wealth. I want to work with the folks that are maybe like my situation, where they're high income professionals, they're working in stressful jobs, and they just want to come out and chill. Sometimes I just come out in the woods with a cup of tea, and I just sit here, and I just relax, and I get drowsy, and that's a perfect day. But then again, sometimes I'll get up early and work until I'm sweating and worn out, and I just lay down and just get the best night's sleep ever. Anyway, I got a little little bit of that in my throat. I'm going to stop here. I hope you watch the other videos. I'm going to do my best to deliver high value content that's going to take you to the next level, because it's really about getting out there and doing. You can learn all this stuff online. You can feel like you have a high level of confidence to do it, but until you get out here and swing, push a shovel, swing an axe, or manage a forest mulcher in the woods, you're really just not going to have it until you're there. And again, don't post pictures asking people. I'd rather see the pictures of your results, by the way. If you're going to post a picture to me and we're engaged in a paid consulting relationship, I can't look at the picture you send me and do anything with it. I have to look at satellite data, the LiDAR, to look at aerials over the last 10 to 20 years, to look at a lot of the factors in addition to the assessment that we do to understand exactly what you want to do with your land or what kind of ideas you want. I need to know what experience you have. Just dream. The dreams are okay. There's nothing wrong with the dream, but I want your dreams to become reality. So again, ask questions in the comments. If you post a video or something, I want to see the results that you've done so far, because you can build on the results that you have. Get this stuff in writing. A written site plan, a written project plan is the gateway to results. And I want to see those results. I want to see you produce those results. I want you to have the small farm, homestead, or estate that you've dreamed about all your life, and that brings you peace and pleasure, financial security, physical security, and all those things that life can bring. Again, I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. Visit www.prosperityhomestead.org. One more thing before you go. We have a number of videos that show you the work in progress. If there's any way I can get you content that's going to be higher value, or I'm thinking about visiting a bunch of these homesteads and sites that we've talked about to show you what's possible. Because when you see what's possible, you realize the hard work really isn't, it's an investment. It's an investment in your future. It's an investment in your dreams. It's an investment in a better environment for everybody. And I sincerely believe they're not going to stop bitching about climate change, but I sincerely believe if you take care of the environment around your home and you make it beautiful, natural. I'm looking at a little robin over here just chirping around in the woods. When I get off of this, all I'm going to do is sit and watch the robin. I'm just going to relax and watch the robin. I'll go check on the forest mulcher guy every so often, but I'm going to chill out and enjoy nature. Nature is meant for humans to interact with in a collaborative and beneficial way. And I think when you start doing these things and you start understanding how this works, you're going to find out you need very little resources to have a great abundance. Again, check out the other videos. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to see the results of what you're doing. Thanks for watching.